Welcome to the StockMentor.com studios here in the Black Hills of South Dakota. I am your stock mentor, Brian Johnson, and it really pretty much wandered sideways again today. Very tricky trading, however, the direction is still down. The Bears are still taking over here in the last few days, especially from that Monday. So you can see here on a 60-minute, really quick, coming right back down into these lower support levels. Perfect place to find a bottom, and then a bounce. Not too big of a bounce, so no real push here by the bulls. I don't see a lot of buying coming in here right now. If we take a look at the daily, you can see that from that Monday little hammer candle that we had, yeah, I wasn't necessarily convinced we were going up. We gapped up only to run down most of the day, and then we had this type of formation where we had the hammer and a down day, and was it followed by buying? Not really. I mean, we still finished down for the day. There was a little bit of buying, but down here in this lower area, which is lower support, and it makes sense that all the indices bounced where they did. I'll show you when we get to the SPX. It'll just make more sense. But as you can see, we are starting to get maybe a little bit of buying down in here. Certainly people starting to test the waters. I think we're closer to maybe seeing some sort of a bounce, rebound, whatever it's going to be here in the markets. I don't know what that is. Could be higher. Could make it all the way back up here again. It's really still too early to tell, but a bounce anyway in the markets. I don't really care if we go to here or if we go all the way up to here. If I can just get the direction right, that's all that matters to me. I'll worry about managing it later once I'm in. But as you can see here, from Monday, this hammer candle went in, and yeah, we kind of fell off since then. Coming down here today, finding some support, bouncing up again today. Um, I'm not sure that I'm quite convinced that the move is over yet. Just once again, going off a gut feeling. I really like this 200-day moving average. I still think it's possible for a lot of these to reach that here over the next couple days. I do think we are getting close, though, after today's session. NDX on a 60-minute doing the same thing as all the rest. Go figure. Not quite coming down as low as the other ones, though. 1840 was the number I was really looking at to find some lower support in the NASDAQ. Now, we do not have that here. 1850 was as low as we got. That was also one of my numbers, but 1840 was ultimately the lower number I was looking to hit. What NASDAQ has not reached that as of yet. Finding support right down here on this lower number, which was about, I don't know what, 1850. Well, right at 1850. The low was 1850.96. And then finding its way back up to 1873 by the end of the day. So once again, little bit of indecision here. You can see a wick on top, wick on bottom, just kind of a spinning top type of a doji put in today, or a spinning top candle put in today, showing that there is still some indecision. We are starting to see some of the buyers dip their toe in down here, but will enough of them come in to push the price up? That has yet to be proven. We have not seen that over the last couple of sessions. Looking at it from a weekly, we're getting closer here. We're coming into Thursday. As you can see, we are still kind of on a downward draw. I really want to wait to look at these weeklies until after tomorrow's session before I start rendering any kind of an idea of where we might be going. Right now, I tell you, it looks bearish. But we know how quickly these weekly candles can change. So I will just reserve my judgment for the time being and tell you that right now we're nowhere. We're still neutral on a weekly chart. SPX on a 60-minute here. You can see we have been holding below these moving averages very nicely all the way down. For those of you that are looking for maybe a longer-term push in the markets, you're going to want to wait for these moving averages to be busted. I know it seems like a long ways, but you got to use patience every now and then in the markets themselves. Day trading, intraday trading has worked very well this week so far. Maybe not so much today, but Monday and Tuesday definitely good days to do some intraday trading. And that's about all we've been given all week long. If you've been holding long or short since the beginning of the week on some options, you're probably getting destroyed right now because the market hasn't really gone anywhere. It's mostly flat. From a daily standpoint, this is what I was talking about in the SPX. Look where it bounced. Seems to me we talked about this little 200-day moving average. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did. So we bounced right at the 200. It's also this lower support right down about 1100. Very nice, logical place to see the bounce. And where do we finish? Go figure. Back up above this blue line that I also have really liked on the charts. So we have a run through, back up, run through, close above it, come back down, touch it here, run through, hit the 200, run back up. Just really, honestly, quite a very nice run by the markets. It's in the bigger picture, it's really very logical, the direction we've been going and places we've been closing and bouncing and whatever else you want to look at. Ultimately, we're really looking at this to break. May or may not happen. I think we're getting pretty, I wouldn't say we're getting pretty stretched down here, but we are starting to get to a point where we're starting to see buyers kind of dip their toe in. We'll see if this lasts. Now, the other indices have not reached this yet, and so I'm curious to know if they're actually going to make it down to this level. My gut tells me, yeah, maybe the Dow at least. I'm not convinced about the Nasdaq. It's been very strong. Nasdaq's always strong, but at least on the Dow, I wouldn't be surprised to see us dip down and maybe see some lower prices here over the next day or two, especially in the Dow, where it maybe ends up touching the 200 as well. Okay, from a weekly, going to worry about that tomorrow, but once again, this looks bearish as of right now today. VIX on a daily was up again, still pushing those upper levels, putting us into this red area up in here. Any major move down, I'm still looking at this 50 as overhead or 45 as overhead. I don't know. I don't TA the VIX very often, but 45 or 50, if the markets tend to run down, the VIX could spike up into one of those areas. Still a heavy red area, either way you look at it. Lots of fear coming back into the markets. That's what you want to note overall. Lots of fear coming back in. Apple on a 60-minute wandered around. It ended up $4 down